in 1 hour, all of them when they are running, what fraction of the tank will they fill? So you just need to add for the cold, that is a third, then for the hot, that is a fifth of the tank in 1 hour, and then the drain pipe, since this one is emptying, we have to subtract. So we have to subtract 4/15 because it is emptying. So therefore, in 1 hour, all the 3 taps running, they're going to fill this fraction of the tank. So you add a third plus 1/5 minus 4/15. That will give 4 divided by 15. That is in 1 hour. So they were left to run for 2 hours. So if 1 hour they can fill this fraction of the tank, what about in 2 hours? So you just need to multiply 2 multiplied by 4 divided by 15, and this will give 8 divided by 15 of the tank. So that is the fraction of the tank filled in the first 2 hours. That is the first part. Part B, how many more minutes are required for the bath to be completely filled? So one thing that we need to get is the remaining fraction that is to be filled. Remember, after 2 hours, this is the fraction that was filled. So what is the remaining? What is the remaining fraction? So the remaining fraction, when the tank is full, it is 1. Then we subtract the one that is already filled, which is 8 divided by 15, and this will give 7 divided by 15. So 7 divided by 15 is what is remaining. And since after 2 hours the drain pipe is closed, so the taps that are left running is only the cold and the hot water tap. So the cold and the hot. So cold plus the hot taps, in 1 hour we need to get that. So in 1 hour, both of them will fill a third plus a fifth. That is a third of the tank, that is for the cold water tap. Then for the hot water tap, that is a fifth. So in 1 hour, cold and hot taps will fill these fractions. So a third plus a fifth will fill 8/15 of the tank. And those are the ones that are left to completely fill the tank. So now what you need to do is that in 1 hour, hot and cold water tap will fill 8 divided by 15. So what about the remaining fraction, which is 7/15? How long will it take? So just cross multiply. So this one will get 7 divided by 15 multiplied by 1 times 15/8, like that. So this will give 7 divided by 8. That is the time, 7 divided by 8 hours. But the question is, how many more minutes are required? How many more minutes? So this is the extra time that will be required. That is, after 2 hours, this is the extra time that will be required by the 2 taps that are left running, that is cold and hot. So 7/8, we can multiply this one by 60, convert it to minutes, and 7/8 multiplied by 60, this will give 52.5 minutes. So this is the extra time that will be required in minutes to completely fill the tank, that is after 2 hours. Then part C, given that the cold water tap delivers water at the rate of 200 centimeters per second, determine the capacity of the bath in liters. The capacity. So the cold water tap, seeing how many hours does it take? How many hours does it take? Cold water tap takes 3 hours to fill the tank. So the cold, it takes 3 hours to completely fill the tank. And you can see here the rate is given in centimeters per second. So in 1 second, so this means 200 centimeters per second. It means that in 1 second, water flows at the rate of 200 centimeters cube. So what about in 3 hours? What about in 3 hours? If in 1 second That is what we mean 200 centimeters per second. It means for 1 second the rate of flow is 200 centimeters cubed. So, and a cold water tap, fill it in 3 hours. So we can convert these 3 hours into seconds by multiplying by 3600, since 1 hour is equivalent to 3600 seconds, and this will give 10,800 seconds. So if in 1 second the rate of flow is 200 centimeters cubed, what about in 10,800 seconds? So simply need to multiply these, so it will be 10,800 times 200, and this will give 216, 2, 3, 4. So this will give 2,160,000 centimeters cubed. But remember, the question is the capacity in liters. So remember that 1 liter is equals to 1,000 centimeters cubed. So what about these? So what about 2,160,000 centimeters cubed? You simply need to divide. So just divide this one by 1,000, and this one will give 2160. When you divide these, liters. Part 2, the rate of flow of the hot water tap. The rate of flow, so that is the capacity. So the capacity of the tank is 2160 liters. So the rate of flow of the hot water tap. Now the hot water tap filled the tank in 5 hours. In 5 hours. In 5 hours. So the hot, it fills the tank, the hot water tap, 5 hours. So having these, we need to get how many seconds are these. So we just multiply 5 hours multiplied by 3600. 1 hour is equals to 3600 seconds, about 5 hours. This will give 18,000 seconds. So that is the time taken by the hot water tap to fill the tank, 18,000 seconds. Now, because we know the capacity of the tank, is here 2,160,000 centimeters cubed, and we have the hot water tap can fill the tank in 18,000 seconds. So to get the rate per second, we are going to take the capacity of the tank, which is 2,160,000 centimeters cubed. Then we divide by seconds. These is seconds taken by the hot water tap, which is 18,000. This one will give us the rate in centimeters per second. So we divide these, and this one will give 120 centimeters cubed. Per second. Then per D, if the hot water tap is open at 7:45 a.m. and runs for 3 hours, then the cold water tap, the drain pipe are opened. Find the time and the tank will be full. So the hot water tap is open at 7:45 and runs for 3 hours. So if it runs for 3 hours, remember the hot water tap, in 1 hour, the hot water tap can fill 1/5 filled of the tank. So what about when it is left running for 3 hours? It will be simply 3 multiplied by 5, so it will fill 3/5 of the tank. So what is the remaining fraction? So the remaining fraction you get when it is full, it is 1, then subtract 3/5. So the remaining fraction will be simply 2/5. That is what is remaining. Then from there, then the cold water tap and the drain pipe are the ones that are left. So the cold water tap, so we need to get the cold and plus the drain in 1 hour. So the cold water tap, like that. So that is the first question. The first question, you simply require to the grid provide draw k element and its image under T, the transformation T. Then part 2, determine the matrix of transformation represented by T. So for T, you don't know that matrix, but you have the object and the image. So what you do in that question, you simply let the matrix T be represented by A, B, C, and D. So in order to get that T, you simply pre-multiply by the object, that is A, B, C, D. Then K so you have K so pre-multiply the object, which is K, L, M, N, with the matrix ABCD, which is T. So this is you have it here. K is 1 1, so 1 1, and then you have 1 3 3 3. So this is 1 3, you have 3 3, and then you have N, and is 3 1, is equals to, now you have the image, that is K prime, L prime, M prime, N prime, like that. We have them here. So you have 1 negative 2, 1 negative 2, and then L is 1 negative 6, 3 negative 6, and N you have 3 negative 2. Now after doing that, now you don't need to multiply everything, so you're going to just multiply up to this point. Let me guide you here, up to this point. That is why you're going to multiply. You don't need all of them for you to get A, B, C, and D. So this is what you're going to do. And also for this one, we can multiply up that point. That will be still okay. Now this is how we multiply it. So row 1 column 1, so this will be A plus, so row 1 column 1 we have A plus B, A plus B, so we have A plus B. Then row 1 column 2 will be A plus 3B, row 2 column 1 C plus D, then row 2 column 2 will be C plus 3D. So you can see I've used only the 2 K and L is equals to K and L. This is K prime, L prime. So these will be 1 negative 2, 1 negative 6. Those two are enough because you're going to use them to form simultaneous equations, and this is how you do it. So you take A plus B is equals to 1, and then you take A plus 3B, A plus 3B is equals to 1. So you can eliminate these, use elimination, subtract. A will be eliminated, so you have minus 2B, B minus 3B minus 2B is equals to 0. So for this case, you get B to be 0. And if B is equals to 0, if you substitute here A plus B is equals to 1, you'll get A to be 1. So you can see that one has given us A and B. So that has given us A and B. So now we can proceed and use the other one to get C and D. So C plus D is equals to negative 2. And then C plus 3D
is equals to -6. So again, you can subtract this to eliminate C. This D minus 3D will give minus 2D is equals to -2. Subtract -6, that will be -2 plus 6, that will be 4. And for this one, D will be -2, like that. So if D is -2, if you substitute in this equation here, we substitute here, when D is -2, you'll get C to be 0. Just substitute D here with -2 and you get C to be 0. Now you have A is there, B is there, C is there, and D is there. So A, B, C, D, which is the required matrix, that is T, that is matrix T, will be given by A is 1, B is 0, C is 0, and D is -2. So that is the matrix T that is required. So that is how we do it. Now the next question is here. Find the vertices K double prime, L double prime, M double prime, N double prime, the image of K, L, M, N, and a transformation represented by U on the same grid. Draw it. Supposed to draw it. So you have this matrix U that is transforming. So we have 1, 0, -3, and 1. This matrix is transforming K, L, M, N, K, L, M, N, K, L, M, N. Remember, K, L, M, N is there, of the coordinates there, given there. So we can read them there, K, L, M, N. And it is transforming that to give K double prime. So we need to get that. We need to get the coordinates of that. So let me check here. It is okay. So K is 1 1. This is 1 1. This one is 1 3. M is 3 3 3 1. This is a 3 3 3 1, like that. So now this one is transforming this one to K double prime, L double prime, M double prime, and N double prime, like that. So let's get the image, and then from there we can plot it. So row 1, column 1. So this is 1. This will give us 1. Subtract 3, so that will give -2. And then this is a 1. Subtract 9, that will be -8. Then this is a 1. This is a 3. Subtract 3. This will be 3. Let me look at it again. So it will be 3. Subtract 9, that will be -6. Seen it? And then N, this is a 3. Subtract 3, that will be 0. I'm through with the row 1. It is my assumption that you're able to multiply the matrices. So row 2, column 1, this will be easy. This will be, when you multiply row 2 times all these column 1, this will give 1. Then this will give 3. This will give 3. And then this one will give 1, like that. So ensure that before you able to come to matrices, you have practiced on how to multiply matrices, because that is not the main concept in this question. Show that you're able to multiply matrices very well. Now we have the image, so we can plot it. So -2 1. So we have -2 1. -2 1, it is there. That is K double prime. And then we have -8 3. -8 3. That is L double prime. And then we have -6 3. -6 3. M double prime, then N 0 1 0 this is 0 1 0 1 is here, N double prime. So we can join these, so K to L like that, and then M, increase this width, so we have that, joining the point, and that, and then we have up to that point, and then there we have it. So we've done that part. So we through with plotting, so we've drawn it. So from there we are supposed to describe that transformation fully, describe the transformation fully. So let us look at these two, KLMN is here, KLMN, and then the image. So which type of transformation is that? When you just look at that transformation, you notice that this one is a shear. And why do you conclude that this one is a shear? What points make you to think that this one is a shear? Because you can see the points are displaced parallel to a certain fixed line. That is number one. You can see all the points are shifting parallel to a certain line. Look at M and M prime. Look at M and M prime. Look at L prime. Look at N prime. Look at K prime there. So the points are shifting parallel to a given fixed line. That is one. Then look at the shape. The shape is distorted. So which kind of transformation is this? And that is where you conclude that this one is a shear. It is the one that has those properties. The one which is very important is that the points are shifting parallel to a certain fixed line. So now, after identifying that one is shear, how do you describe a shear fully? Number one, by giving the shear factor. By giving the shear factor, that is the first one. And how do you give the shear factor? You give the shear factor, I'll write it here. You give the shear factor by getting the displacement. So you simply get the displacement of a point, of an object point to the image point. In this case, you can take displacement from, let's say, L to L double prime, and then we divide by the perpendicular distance of object, of the object or image. It can be object or image from the invariant line, So that is how you get the shear factor. Now, I've mentioned the invariant line. How do you identify the invariant line? So look at these points here. To get the invariant line, also there is a way you do it. So invariant line, if you want to get it, you simply take the image distance, let's say L double prime, K double prime, extend that line to join with LK. So in the diagram I'll do that. So LK, so L double prime. So let me join it so that I can show you how you get that. So join L double prime to K double prime, and ensure that you extend it fully. Like that. That is the line L double prime, K double prime. Then the other line LK is here, and you extend it. Where are the two lines meeting? So look at those two lines. Look at those two lines. So L double prime, K double prime, and LK. I've started by drawing L double prime, K double prime, extending it, then LK, extending it. Where do they meet? The two are supposed to meet on the invariant line. They're meeting here, and they're meeting on the invariant line. So the invariant line here is the x-axis. These points are shifting parallel to the invariant line. Look at M and look at M prime. They're shifting parallel to the invariant line. So the invariant line is where these two lines are meeting. The invariant line is there for the x-axis. So invariant line, in this case, invariant line is the x-axis. So now let's get the shear factor using that now. So the shear factor is, look at the displacement L to L double prime. So count the number of squares from L to L double prime. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 squares to the left. To the left from L to L double prime, there are 9 squares. So because it is to the left, going to the negative axis, you write it as -9, because you can see the image is shifted to the negative part of the axis. Then the perpendicular distance of object point to the invariant line. So I'll pick the object point to be, let's say, L. So what is the perpendicular distance of L to the invariant line? So from L, count the distance, count these squares. So they're 1, 2, 3. There are 3 squares from L to the invariant line. So that is what we mean. Perpendicular distance of the object point or the image point. So we'll use the object point like L to the invariant line. Count the number of squares, 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 squares. So these will be divided by 3. So the shear factor is -3. Now to describe that fully to describe the shear fully, this is what you do. So you say that this is a shear with scale factor being -3 and x-axis as the invariant line. You are describing now a shear fully by stating the shear factor invariant line, and then you have to give the object point and the image point. Let's say I'll pick L and L double prime. So L, which is 1, 3, L 1, 3 is mapped onto L double prime. That is mapped onto L double prime. We noted that one was what? That was -8, 3. -8, 3. So -8, 3. -8, 3. By doing so, you have described the shear fully. State that shear factor, the invariant line, and then you give the object point and the image point. An aeroplane that flies at a constant speed of 600 knots flies from town A, 14 degrees north, 30 degrees west, southwards to town B, x degrees south, 30 degrees west, taking 3.5 hours. It then changes direction and flies along a latitude to town C, x degrees south, 0 degrees, given that pi is equals to 22/7, radius of the earth is equals to 6370. A, calculate 1, the value of x, 2, the distance between town B and town C along the parallel of latitude in kilometers. Then but B, D is a point, is an airport situated at 5 degrees north, 180 degrees west. Calculate 1, the time aeroplane would take to fly from C to D following a great circle through the South Pole. Then part 2, the local time at D when the local time at A is 12:20 p.m. Let's go to the first part. So we have an aeroplane that flies, the speed is given 600 knots, then flies from town A. So we can just do a rough sketch of these positions here. It would help. Just a rough sketch. So we have A, 14 is 14 degrees north, so that latitude 14 degrees north. 30 degrees west, so 30 degrees west, can put it there, that is 30 degrees west. So point A is that point, and then it flies southwards to B, x degrees south, so B, x degrees south, so this is x degrees south, and 30 degrees west, so it is flying along the same longitude, so B is there. So you have the distance, and the time taken is given, which is 3.5 hours. You're supposed to find the value of x. So with the speed and the time given, and also having the position of A given in latitude and longitude, it is possible to find x, that is the latitude of B. So the first thing that will help us is getting the distance, because we have the distance, we have the speed in knots and the time in hours taken by this aeroplane. So distance AB will be given by speed times time, and the speed is 600 knots, then times time 3.5 hours, that is 7/2 hours. So when you get these, you get the distance in nautical miles using the speed in knots and time in hours. So this will give 2,100 nautical miles. So after getting the distance, this will help us to get the longitude difference, the latitude difference, because as you can see, the position of A and B, they are lying on the same longitude but different latitudes. So how do you get that distance? How do you get this distance, 2100 nautical miles? So you get it by, because this is distance along the great circle AB, you get it by taking 60 multiplied by theta, and theta is the latitude difference. The latitude difference, this should give 2100. So therefore theta is equals to 2100 divided by 60, and this will give 35 degrees. So 35 degrees is the latitude difference. And how do you get this latitude difference? You get the latitude difference after taking 14 degrees, that is the latitude of A, plus the latitude of B, which is x degrees. That is when you get this difference, which is 35. And therefore x degrees will be given by 35 subtract 14, and this will give 21 degrees. So that is the value of x, 21 degrees. And you can give even the position of B. Now the position of B, although not required in the question, it is x degrees south, which is 21 degrees south, 30 degrees west. Go to part 2. The distance between town B and C along the parallel of latitude in kilometers. So by C, so after flying southwards to B, I then change the direction and it flies to town C. C is this is x degrees south, 0 degrees, so 0 degrees. So that latitude there, this one is 0 degrees, so it flies up to this point. So C, so you can see it is flying from B to C, that is along the same latitude. That is along the same latitude. So if you can write the position, this is a B. B is 21 degrees south, 30 degrees west. Then C. C is 21 degrees south and 0 degrees. That is the position. So you're supposed to use these two and get the distance BC. This is the distance along the parallel of latitude. So how do you get that distance in kilometers? This is distance along the small circle of the parallel of latitude. And to get that distance BC, so distance BC is given by, in kilometers, we're going to get theta divided by 360 times 2 pi r cos alpha, where theta is the longitude difference. So what is the longitude difference? Longitude difference is 30 plus 0, that will be 30 degrees, divided by 360 times 2, pi is 22/7, times cosine of alpha is the latitude angle. Both of them are lying on the same latitude, that is 21 degrees. So that is how you're supposed to work it out. So simply use a calculator to work with these. 30/360 times 2 pi r, and then there's a radius. Forgot to multiply the radius, don't forget that. 6370, 2 pi r, so that radius must be there. 2 pi r cosine of the latitude angle, so don't forget that. So this one will give 30/360 times 2 times 22/7 times cosine of 21, and then times the radius of the earth. This will give 3115.04669 kilometers. So that is how you're supposed to do it. Then part B, D is a point situated at 5 degrees north, 180 degrees west. Calculate 1. The time aeroplane would take to fly from C to D, following great circle through the South Pole. So from C to D. So we have C. Point C is 21 degrees south, 0 degrees. Then D is given there, 5 degrees north, 180 degrees west. So you can see these places are on different latitudes and different longitudes. So if you would draw a sketch of this position, just a rough sketch, which I think will help you. Rough sketch is something that you notice. This is, if you draw it like this, so from C is 21 degrees south, so 21 degrees south. So if this is the equator, so 21 degrees south of the equator, assume that it will be somewhere here. So this will be 21 degrees. So from the equator, this will be 21 degrees south, like that. So that is 21 degrees. Then we have the other place. D is 5 degrees north. So 5 degrees north, 5 degrees north would be somewhere, just a sketch. This is 5 degrees, so D will be somewhere there, and then it will be on a longitude of 180 degrees west. So C is 0 degrees, 0 degrees longitude. D is 180 degrees west, that is on the opposite side. So when C is here, D will be on the other side. So looking at these two places, there's something that you need to find, which will definitely assist you to work out this type of a question. And one thing that will help you, because it is flying through the south, so from C it will have to pass through the south and then to D. So you need to get this angle that is here. You need to get the whole of this angle that is here, and this is how you're going to do it. So this angle that is here, this is 90 degrees. That angle is 90. Then we have 5 degrees, and then we have this angle that is here. We have this angle that is here. So this will be 90 subtract 21, and this will give us 69 degrees. 69 degrees. So we simply trying to get that angle that is between C and D. So we have 5 degrees, and this will now be the longitude difference between the two places. So the longitude difference will be given by, we have 5 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 69 degrees. So this will give, when you work it out, this will give 164 degrees. So that is the longitude difference between C and D. So after getting that angle difference, the longitude difference, you're going to use that to calculate to calculate the distance, and that distance you need to understand which type of a distance is that from C to D and is passing through the south. That will be the distance along the great circle. From C via the south pole then to D, that will be distance along the great circle. And how do you get the distance along the great circle? Distance CD along the great circle will be given by 60 multiplied by theta. So this will be 60 multiplied by theta is the longitude difference, of which you've got to be 164 degrees. And this will give 9840 nautical miles. So after getting the distance, now you're required to find the time. That is how you're finding the distance, because to get the time, we require to get the distance divided by the speed. That is how you are getting the distance CD. So now we have the distance, which is 9840 nautical miles. So we divide by the speed. The speed is given, beginning of the question, it is 600 knots. So it is 600 knots. And this will give the time in hours. So distance in nautical miles and speed in knots. You're going to divide these. You get 16 hours and 24 minutes. So that is the time taken to fly from C to D. So the most important thing you're supposed to have identified there, because you can see C and D are 2 points that lie on different longitudes in different latitudes. So that sketch would have helped you so much. Having known that this angle that is here, if C is 21 degrees south of the equator, that angle there, and then you have D is 5 degrees north of the equator, so you simply get the angle between the two, that is C and D, that is 5 degrees, and then there is 90, and then there is this angle. You get it, the angle that is here, you get it by taking 90, the whole of this angle here is 90, subtract 21, that will give 69. So now getting the longitude difference, 5 plus 90 plus 69, that will give you 164. And since you want to get the time, you need to get the distance first, and then you divide by the speed. So that will, the longitude difference will help you to get the distance, because distance will be given by 60 theta. It is distance via the south pole, that is distance along the great circle. 60 theta, 60 times the longitude difference, you get the distance in nautical miles. After that, you take time is equals to distance divided by speed, and you get the time. Then part 2, the local time at D when the local time at A is 12:20 p.m. So when you are calculating time, we normally use the longitude. So we need to get the longitude of A. So longitude of A, and then the longitude of D. So the longitude of A is 30 degrees west. The longitude of D is 180 degrees west. So among these two, you're given the time at A. Time at A is 12:20 p.m. So you're supposed to find the local time at D. So the first thing that you need to do is to get the longitude difference. The longitude difference between the two places. You can see they are lying on the same side. So the longitude difference. So longitude difference will be given by, you take 180, subtract 30 degrees. Both of them are to the west. You get the longitude difference to be 150 degrees. Then from there, you know that for every 1 degree, there's always a difference of 4 minutes. So what about 150 degrees? These will be 150 times 4, and these will give 600 minutes. And 600 minutes, if you divide that by 60, these will be equivalent to 10 hours. Sorry, these will give 10 hours. These will give 10 hours. So after getting now 10 hours is the time difference that exists between longitude A and longitude B. So now you need to know which one will be ahead of time. You know, the places to the east of the prime meridian are always ahead of time. So between longitude A, 30 degrees west, and 180 degrees west, which one is to the east of the other? Which one will be ahead of time? 30 degrees will be ahead of time, to be to the more to the east than 180. So because longitude of A, that place will be ahead of time, and you want D, it means that D will be behind time as compared to A, and therefore to get the time we shall simply take 12:20 p.m. and then we subtract 10 hours. We subtract 10 hours, and this will give 2:20 a.m. The reason how we're subtracting, because D will be behind of time as compared to A. And you're doing these considering the positions on longitudes. The table below shows the monthly tax rates for a certain year. Monthly income in Kenyan shillings. The tax rate is in percentage in each shilling. So the table is there. In the month of February of that year, 𝐊𝐂𝐒 paid a net of Kenyan shillings 19,760. He was given a house allowance of 14,000 per month and a commuter allowance of 8,000 per month. 𝐊𝐂𝐒 was also entitled to a monthly personal relief of 1350 and monthly insurance relief at the rate of 15% of the premium paid. Each month, he paid a monthly premium of 4,000 towards his life insurance policy. Part A, calculate 1. The gross tax per month. Then part 2, taxable income per month. Part 3, basic salary per month. And then part B, in the month of March the same year, 𝐊𝐂𝐒 received additional earnings given that he paid 25% more tax, more net tax that month. Calculate the percentage increase in his earnings. Let's go to the first part. The first part is supposed to calculate gross tax per month. So the first thing we need to ask ourselves, how do you get the gross tax? So gross tax is obtained by taking the net tax plus the reliefs. So do you have the net tax? Yes, the net tax is here, 19,760. Then we should add the reliefs. So look at the reliefs. When you look at what you have here, there is one relief that is given here. That is a personal relief of 1350. And then there is another relief, insurance relief at the rate of 15% of the premium paid. So 15%, that is 15 over 100. And that month he paid premiums that were worth 4,000. So it is 15% of 4,000. Like that. So that is how you're supposed to do it. Net tax plus the reliefs. The reliefs are 2. So 1350 plus 15% of 4,000. So once you work out these using a calculator, 19,760 plus 1950 plus 15% of 4,000, you'll get the gross tax of 21,710. We go to part 2, the taxable income per month. Taxable income per month. So how do you get the taxable income? We're going to use the gross tax that you have already obtained in part A1, and then we'll move backwards to get the taxable income. So you're going to start with the first band, each of these bands. So you have the first band. When you look at these bands, they are uniform apart from the first one. So the first one is up to 9680. So the first band is 9680 times 10%. So you get a tax of, this one will give a tax of 968. So what we will do, we will continue to the other bands until we get this tax. We get a total of this tax, 21,710. So the first one you have 968. So you can see we have a long way to go till we get a tax of 21,710. So we go to the second band. The second band To get the amount, you simply subtract this band. You simply take 18,800 subtract 9680, so you can get the size of this band will be 9120. That is 9120. Then you can proceed for the other band. So for the other band, you can see this is 27,920 subtract 18,800, so you can see that one is still the same. It is still 9120. The other one, I can still see this one is 37,040 27 subtract 27,920. This will give 9120. So they are uniform. So we go to the second band, the amount in the second band. So we have 9120 times the rate in that band is 15%. So that is a 15 over 100, and that one will give the tax of 1368. So we proceed until we get this tax 21,710. So the next band is 9120 times the rate there is 20%. And this will give a tax of 1824, like that. So still I can see we can still proceed to the next band, because when you add 968 plus 1368 plus 18, you can see you have a long way to go to get 21,710. So the next band, the same amount, 9120. So 9120 times the rate there is 25%. The rate is 25%, and that one will give, multiply 2280, we get 2280. We get 2280. So now we are remaining with the last band, and now because that is the last band, all the other tax will be obtained there. So first of all, we need to get the sum of the taxes that we've already have so far. So we can add everything that we have here first. So we add from the first 968 plus 1368 plus 1824 plus 2280, and we add that will give 6440. 6440, and we actually need the tax of 21,710. So we need to get the remaining. So what is the remaining tax? That is the one that is going to the last band. The remaining, we do it like this: 21,710 subtract 6440, and that one will give 15,270. 15,270. So that is the tax that should go to the last band. So now in the last band, we don't have the income. We can call that income X, the taxable income. Remember this column here, this is for the taxable income, 9680, 9120, 9120. That is taxable income. So we need to get the income that was taxed, the rate of 30%, in order to get this particular tax that is here. That is 15,270. 15,270. So we need to work out these. So these will give us the taxable income in that band, because that is the last band. So we're going to get this one by taking X is equals to 15,270 multiplied by the reciprocal of 30 over 100, that is 100 divided by 30, and these will give the taxable income of 50,900. 50,900. So that is the income that was taxed at the rate of 30% in order to give a tax of 15,270. So actually when you add all these taxes here, 968 plus 1368 plus 1824 plus 2280 plus 15,270, you should get 21,710. Now the taxable income, now we're getting the taxable income. The question is getting the taxable income. So taxable income will be given by, we are going to add these. So first one is 9680 plus then 9120. 9120, how many these are? There are 9120 are how many values? 1, 2, 3. There are 3 values like that, and then we add for the last band this one 5,900. That will give us the total taxable income. So when you add that, you will get 87,940. So that is the answer for that part, the taxable income. We go to the next question, the basic salary per month. So how do you get the basic salary? Basic salary is given by taxable pay, taxable income minus the allowances. Taxable income minus the allowances. So we have the taxable income, we already got it. It is 87,940. Now we subtract the allowances. The allowances are given here. We have 14,000. 14,000 for house allowance and commuter allowance, 8,000. So that is 14,000 plus 8,000. So 14,000. So we have 14,000 plus 8,000, and this will give 87,940 subtract 22,000, that will give 65,940. So that is the basic salary, simply by getting taxable income, subtract all the allowances. Part B, in the month of March same year, Ikouri received additional earnings. Given that he paid 25 more net tax that month, calculate the percentage increase in his earnings. Look at the question. Percentage increase in his earnings. The earnings here represent, so the earnings refer to the net pay. The net pay. And how do you get the percentage increase? Percentage increase in the earnings. You're going to get the increase in the earnings divided by the original earnings multiplied by 100. That is what you're going to do. So we need to get the original earnings first, and then we get the increase. So what are the original earnings? How do you get the original earnings? Now to get the original earnings, so original earnings will be given by the gross pay, which is also the taxable income, was 87,940, and then we subtract all the deductions. That is how we get the net pay or the original earnings. We get the gross pay or the taxable income, then subtract all the deductions. The first deduction, of course, it is the net tax of 19,760. 19,760. So we have 19,760, and then we have another deduction. Towards the end there. We have monthly premiums. He was paying monthly premiums of 4,000. So that one is deducted every month. So 4,000. So those are the only deductions I can see here. So when you take the gross pay or the taxable income, subtract all the deductions are only 2 here. This one will give the original earnings as 64,180. Now after getting that, we now need to get the increase in the earnings. And all that is going to help us to get the increase in the earnings. It is the increase given here, increase of 25% tax. So the first thing we're going to do is to get that amount of tax that increased. So we're given 25 more net tax. So what is that increase in net tax? The amount of net tax increase, you get it by taking 25% times, remember the net tax, original net tax was 19,760. That was the net tax. So this one will give us an increase. So there was an increase of tax of 49,40. So the next thing that we need to do is to get the corresponding income that led to this increase in the net tax. So what amount of money was taxed in order to give this particular tax of 4940. And to do that, because this one was an increase, automatically this one will fall in the last band. This increase will fall in the last band, and the rate of taxation in the last band is 30%. It is 30%. So we are going to get the income. The income, that is the amount of money that was taxed in the last band, to be X. When it was subjected to this rate of taxation of 30%, it resulted to this increase in tax, that is a 4940. So we are actually getting the income that increased in order to give this particular tax of 4940. So this will give X will be 4940, we're making X the subject, times 100 divided by 30. And this will give, when you multiply this, you're going to get 16,466 cents. So this was the increase in the income. This was the increase in the income. By now, after getting that, we can now get the percentage increase, because we said the percentage increase will be given by increase in the earnings, which you already got as 16,000. This was the amount that increased to give that tax, 16,466 cents, divided by the original earnings, which is 64,180, and then we multiply by 100. And these will give 25.66%. So that is how you're supposed to solve that question. The table below shows the marks of some students in a mathematics test. So you have the marks and the students are given there. Draw a cumulative frequency curve to represent this data. So how do you need to draw a cumulative frequency curve, also known as the algebraic curve? You need to have the upper class boundaries, and these, for this case, you have the upper class boundaries of the marks plotted against the cumulative frequency. So we don't have the cumulative frequency. That is the first thing that we need to get. So to get the cumulative frequency, you simply, I'll just write it here against here. So we have 4, we start with 4, and then 4 plus 9, you get 13. And then the other one will be 13 plus 16, you get 29. 29 plus 24, you get, this one is 53. 53 plus 18, that one will give you 71. 71 plus 12, that will give 83. That is how you get the cumulative frequency. And then you have 83 plus 8, you get 91. 91 plus 5, you get 96. 96 plus 3, you get 99. Then 99 plus 1, you get 100. So that is what you're going to use for the y-axis, the number of students, the cumulative frequency. So you're going to use 4, 13, 29, 53, 71, 83, 91, 96, 99, and 100. Then for the marks, you're going to use the upper class boundary. So the first one will be 54.5. For this class, you have 59.5. For this class, you have 64.5. For this class, you have 69.5. For this one, 74.5. For this one, 79.5. For this one, 84.5. For this one, 89.5. For this one, 94.5. And for this one, 99.5. So we can now go to the graph. So on the y-axis, I'm going to use 1 centimeter represent 10. So you can see it goes up to 100. So I'll use 1 centimeter represents 10. So I have 10 here. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So this one is the number of students. That is the number of students. Then for the x-axis, I shall use 1 centimeter to represent 5. 1 centimeter to represent 5. So let me draw So we have the 0 will be here, so I'll draw the x-axis. So we have, that is the x-axis. So for this one being 0, so for this one I'm going to use 49. I can start with the lower class limit. Of this one, on the lower class boundary, I mean, that is a 49.5. So this one will be 49. I can begin with it here, actually, 49.5, then 54. This one will be 54.5. Then this one is a 59.5, 64.5. I'm using 1 centimeter to represent 5. Then this one, 69.5. Then 74.5, 79.5, 84.5, 89.5, 94.5, 99.5. I think that one is okay. We need up to 99.5. That is okay. So these are the marks. We're going to plot. Now we can plot these. So the first one is 4. First one is 454.5. 454.5. So 54.5, we have got 4. So not the size. What is the one small square representing? For me, because you have 0 here, 0, 10. So this will be 2. So 4 will be here, 54.5, 2 will be here. Then the next class is 59.5, 13, 59.5, 59.5, 13. So this is a 12, 13 will be there. That will be there. Then the next one is 64.5, 29, 64.5, 29. So 29 will be there. Remember what I'm using to do this. I'm plotting this, the cumulative frequency on the y-axis against the upper class boundaries. That is what I'm using. So the next one is 69.5. 69.5 is 53. 52 is there, so 53 is here. Then 74.5, 71. 74.5, we have 71. So 71 is here. Number one small square represents 2 for my case. And then 79.5, 83. 9.5, this 82, 83 will be there. Then 84.5, 91. 84.5, 91 is there. And then finally 89.5, 96. 89.5, 89.5, 96. So 96, 90, this is 92, 94, 96 will be them. And then from there we have 99, 94.5, 99 is there. And then 99.5, 100. So once you've done that, you simply join using a smooth curve. Join this one like this. Join it, make sure you join all the points. like that. So then the starting point, you can join the starting point to avoid leaving it hanging, can join it to the start like that. So that is the cumulative frequency curve supposed to have. So that is how you're supposed to draw it. Let's go to the questions. The first question, part B, from a graph, estimate the quartile deviation. So how do you get the quartile deviation? So quartile deviation is obtained by taking a half multiplied by Q3 minus Q1, or simply you can take Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. What is Q3? Q3 is the upper quartile, and you get it by taking 3/4 of the total frequency. Total frequency is 100, so this will give the position as in the 75th student. That is how you're going to get the upper quartile, 75th student. Then Q1, that is a quarter of the total frequency, and this will give us the 25th student, will give us the lower quartile. So we go to the 75th student to get the upper quartile, 75th student, and this is how we're going to do it. So 75th student, you go to the y-axis. Where do we have 75 student? There is a middle here. So the 75th student is the center there. So you draw a straight line there. A straight line up to where it touches the curve, touches the curve at that point. Then you drop down from this point of intersection here. You make sure you drop down like that. You drop down like that. So from that point of intersection, so this will give you the mark scored by the 75th student. So from 75th student up to the point where it touches the curve, then straight down, you read this mark here. So this mark is so this is a 75.5 plus 0.5. That will give 76. So this point here will give 76. So this will give 76 marks. Then we read the 25th. The 25th. So the 25th, we did the same. So for 25th, we identify 25th. 25th is here. So the 25th mark again on the center there, draw a straight line like that up then to the point where it touches the curve. This is the point here. We drop down like that. So let me drop down. So this will give so you have 1, 2, 3, that is 60.5, 61.5, 62.5. Then this will give 60, around 63.5. Let me see this point properly. I think I drew the line. Should have drawn the line. The line is like that. Now check the point. You need to be very keen here when you're drawing the line. So from the 25th student up to where it touches the curve. So there is a mistake I did there. So then drop down the point of intersection here. You drop down there. You notice that this point that is here, to reach at this point, and this point will be is 60.5, 61, 62.5, 63.5. So this will give 63.5. This point here, 63.5. So 63.5 marks. That is the lower quartile. Now after getting that, now you can get the quartile deviation, which is half multiplied by Q3. Q3 is 76. Subtract 63.5. And this will give 6.25 as the quartile deviation. Now we go to the next question. The next question is the range of marks obtained by the middle 60% student. So how do you get the middle 60%? Just draw a line to illustrate that. So you have middle 60%. So having 60% there, that means 60% will be found between 20%, because this is why you have 0, and this is why you have 100 students. So 60%, middle 60% will be found between 20 and 80%. So you can see when you get the difference, 80 subtract 20, that is when you get 60%. So we need now to identify the marks scored by the 20th student, because you just get the 20% of 100. Total 20%, that is 20 over 100 times the total number of students is 100. So here we are going to get the marks scored by the 20th student. And then for the other, the 80th percentage, this is 80%, 80 over 100 times the total students, number of students 100. So we are going to read the 80th student will give us that. So once we get the mark scored by the 20th student and the mark scored by the 80th student, that will give us the range. So let's go to the 20th student in the graph. So the 20th student, you simply draw a straight line from the 20th student up to where it touches the curve, and the 20th student, from this it will just be here. So draw a straight line from the 20th student up to where it touches the curve. It is the curve at this point, then drop down. So this is a let me see, this is a 60. Let me draw this one again. I think there's somewhere I'm missing here. So the point where it touches the curve, this is the point. So we shall have like that. So we have this is 60.5, 61.5, and then you can see it is extending to the other square. So we are going to add 0.5 because it is not exactly on that line, it is extending onto the other. If you draw it properly, you notice that it is just going almost to the half of the other square. So 60.5, 61.5, then 61.5 at the middle there you can estimate plus 0.5, that will give 62. So around here we have 62. So the 20th student, that will give 62 marks. Then the 80th, so for the 80th we can draw a straight line here with the 80th to the 80th here, a straight line. Already I can see it is there. Draw a straight line. We are going to use this one, that is here. Then up to point where it touches the curve, at this point here. So we can draw a straight line dropping down from that point, straight line like that, like this. So you can see, so from the 80th student up to where it touches the curve, then drop down straight. So these will be this is from here we have 70, 74.5, 75.5, 76.5, 77.5, then plus 0.5, that will give 78, around 78. It's around 78. So I'm reading this one again. So from 80th, from the 80th, go straight line, then this point where it touches that curve, then drop down. So this point here will be 70, from 75, 76.5, 77, 75.5, 76.5, 77.5, then plus 0.5, that will be 78. So that will give 78 marks. So that is the range. We have now the range. So the middle 60 students, the range of marks will be from 62, that is 20% of the student, that is 62, that is the range, to 78, scored by 80th percentage or percentile, 80th percentile and the 20th percentile. So that is the range. Or you can write it as x is less than or equal to 78, or it should be greater than or equal to 62. Also, you can give the range like this or like this. So that is how we give the range. So then the next question, which is the last one, the probability that the student selected at random scores at least 72%. Scores at least 72%. So at least 72% means 72% or more. So let's go to the graph and identify 72 marks. So 72 marks, where do you have 72 marks? 72 marks found here. So here, these are, we have 69.5, 70.5, 71.5, then 72. You draw a straight line to where you have 72. Draw a straight line there. So this is a 69, this is a 70.5, 71.5, 72. So from 72 mark, so draw a straight line up to point where it touches the curve. Touches the curve at this point here. You can see this point. Then from this point you draw a straight line to the left like that, and these now will give the student, these will give the student who scored 72 marks. So you're starting from here. So all the students that are above that, they scored more than 72. So from the 62nd student, this is so we've gone to the 72 mark. It is here. Draw a straight line up to the point where it touches the curve, then draw another straight line to the left. The student that you get here, the 62nd student, is the first one to score 72. So all the other students above the students, these are 62nd student, scored more than 72. So it is from the 62nd student, it is from the 62nd student all the way to 100 students. So how many students are these? From this 62nd student to 100 students. So you simply need to subtract, that is 100 minus 62, and then you add one, because you have to include the 62nd student. That is why you have to add one. So you are counting all the students. You can do it manually from the graph. You count. If you count all the way from the 62nd student and count all the students who are above that up to 100, you'll get those to be, when you subtract these, you get 39 students. So 39 students are the one who scored at least 72%. So what is the probability? The probability will therefore be given by the total students who got at least 72%, that is 39, divided by the total number of students, which are 100. So that is the probability, and that is how you're supposed to solve that question. The figure below shows a tetrahedron ABCV. AB is equals to BC is equals to CA is equals to 12 centimeters, and VA is equals to VB is equals to VC is equals to 15 centimeters. That means that all the slant heights are equal in this particular diagram. All the slant heights are equal. Is a right tetrahedron. First question, calculate to 1 decimal place the height of the tetrahedron. The height. So how do you get the height? You get the height by drawing a perpendicular from the vertex V to the midpoint of that base, and the base also, this one is the same. AB is equals to, so all these are 12. So the base again, it is an equilateral triangle. So we can name this point here, the midpoint, to be O. So in order to get the height, we shall join C to the midpoint of that, like that. you join it up to that point, and we shall form a right angle triangle there. So look at that triangle VOC. VOC. So triangle VOC is what you're going to use. So we only know VC. How do we get a CO? CO, if we use the triangle ABC, we can start by extending. We can extend this line. We can extend this line as CO until that point there. But now the problem is, I want you to be very keen here. You can name this point as N. So this point here is N. So this point from C to O is not equal from O to N. So when we get CN and then we divide that one by 2, we'll be wrong when you do that, because O is not the midpoint of CN. So we need to use some other concept here to get CO, and you're going to use this concept of the sine rule. Remember the sine rule: A divided by sine A is equals to B is equals to divided by sine B is equals to C over sine C is equals to 2R. So using these, you can get the radius 2R, where R is the radius. I can decide to use one of these sides, and since I know that this one is an equilateral triangle and all these angles are 60, all these angles here are 60, is equilateral, say all the sides are 12 centimeters. So I can use one side being 12, and then sine of one of the angles, that is a 60. This one should give me 2 radius. The radius in this case will be CO. CO will be the radius. So therefore, if you work out these using a calculator, and you make R the subject, R will be 12 divided by 2 sine 60. So the radius will give you 4 root 3. 4 root 3. So that is CO. 4 root 3. 4 root 3, like that. So now having that, we can get the perpendicular height. So we just have the triangle now here. I can extract it. Here so that you can have. So this is O, this one is V, and this one is C. So we have OC. This is a 4 root 3, and then we have these as 15. So we can get the height. So the height, therefore, the height will be given by Pythagoras theorem, square root of 15 squared minus 4 root 3 squared, like that. So this will give the height to be given by, this will be the square root of 225, 15 squared, then 4 root 3 squared will give 48. And this will give height to be 13.3 centimeters. 13.3 centimeters. So that is the height of the tetrahedron. Let's go to part 2. The angle between VB and the base ABC. VB. So let us identify VB. So you can see VB is here, and then the base ABCD. So that will be the angle between VB. We need to get the projection of VB on the base. So the projection of VB will be BO. So we need to connect this one. We need to connect B to O. So when you're getting, that is the angle between a line and a plane. The line is VB and the plane is ABC. So to get that, we normally get the angle between that line, that is VB, and its projection on that plane. and the projection is here. So that is the angle that we need to get. So if we look at that particular diagram, you notice that you can extract that triangle. Can extract it here. So the height is there, and then to look at it, so we have B is there, then O is there, and then V is there. So this is the perpendicular height that we just got, that is 13.3, and then VB, let's look at VB is 12, the slant heights are 12, so these will be 12. So we can get this required angle. You can check from the diagram there, you can check it there. So this one, you get the angle by, you can use tangent. So tangent of theta is equals to opposite. Where this one is going to, tangent going to work? No, I think sine is going to work better than this. So sine is going to work because we have the opposite side. So sine of theta will give 13.3 divided by the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 15. I'm sorry, this one should be 15. No, I wrote 12. This one should be 15. It should be 15. It should be 15. Just look at the diagram. VB is slant height of all these is 15. So sine of theta is equals to 13.3 divided by 15, and this one should give theta will give sine inverse of 13.3 divided by 15, and theta will give 62.46 degrees. Then the other one is the angle between VAB, part C, angle between VAB and the base, VAB. That is the angle between two planes, VAB and ABC. So VAB, so we have VAB and the base, that is ABC. So when you're getting the angle between two planes, you consider this plane first, VAB, and then you draw a perpendicular from V to that other plane, like that. This one will meet at 90 degrees here. It will meet these, that plane at 90 degrees. And then for the other plane, ABC, also draw a perpendicular from this point C to the mid of these, like this, to that point. So it will also meet this one at 90 degrees, like this. So look at what I've done. Draw perpendicular from V to this point, the mid of AB, to meet this line AB at 90 degrees. Then draw the other perpendicular from the other plane, this point C, to the mid of this line. So where the two perpendiculars are meeting, this is the required angle. So we need to get this angle here. So this is the required angle. So how do we get that angle? We should look at what we are given, and look at this triangle VNO. We consider that. I only have the height, so I will extract it here. So let me extract that. So it looks like this, that you can see what we are given. So we have ONV. So this is O, N, and this is V, like that. So look at O. O is here, N is here, and V is here. So we only have VO. We have VO. VO is 13.3, but we don't have NO. The easier one to get is NO. The easier one to get is NO. So we need to get this distance here. How do we get that distance? Now, because you already have this distance CO, we can use this triangle CNB. We can use Pythagoras theorem to get that. So CN, the whole of CN will be given by, when I talk of CN, this is the whole of these, using this triangle here, that will be 12 squared minus 12 squared minus 6 squared, and these will give 12 squared, we get it, 12 squared minus 6 squared, then you get the square root of that. So 12 squared minus 6 squared, you get 6 root 3. So this one will give 6 root 3. 6 root 3. Now I want you to be very keen here. So CN is 6 root 3. But we already have CO as 4 root 3. So to get ON, we're going to get 6 root 3 minus 4 root 3. And this will give 2 root 3. Why are we subtracting? Because we already have CO as 4 root 3. That was the radius. We got the radius. And then you have already obtained CN as 6 root 3. So this part that is remaining here, ON, will be given by CN minus CO. That is 6 root 3 minus 4 root 3. And that will give us 2 root 3. So now having that, having this one as 2 root 3, 2 root 3, that is ON or NO. Now we can get the required angle. Remember, the required angle is this angle here. This is the required angle between the two planes. And for this one, you can use tangent. So tangent of theta is equals to opposite side over the adjacent side. So theta will be given by the tan inverse of 13.3 divided by 2 root 3. And this one gives, when you work it out, this will give 75.4 degrees. So that is how you get the angle between two planes. The last question, the angle between VAB and VBC. VAB and VBC. So let us identify that. VAB, so VAB and VBC. You can look at those two planes. So I have to clear some things here so that you can see everything properly. So the angle between VAB and VBC is this particular angle here. Very easy to identify. It is this angle that is here. So this angle, that angle is the one that is the angle between those two planes, VAB and VBC. And that angle is 60 degrees because it is one of the angles of that triangle at the base that is equilateral, which is 60 degrees. But for you to calculate, you can still calculate that because you need to get 3 marks and show all the methods that we've used. We can simply extract that triangle. We can use that, you can draw it. You can draw it like this because the angle that we need, we can just draw it like that. And this is the angle that we need. That is the angle that we need. So these are BAC. So here's the BAC. So look at the base. I've extracted them. BAC. So the angle I need is this. And remember, these this is 12. So this is 12. This is 12. So I can draw perpendicular bisector there. and these will be 6, these will be 6. So I need this angle. Once I get that angle, I just multiply it by 2. So the whole of angle ABC, we are going to get it by, I can use sine. So sine to be twice, because you get one angle and then you multiply by 2. You can see the whole of that angle. 2 sine of theta will be given by, just multiply these sine of theta, which will be opposite divided by the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse, like that. And this will give sine of theta is equals to 0.5. So 0.5 theta will therefore give you a sine inverse of 0. This will give 30 degrees. 30 degrees, and you have to multiply by 2. So 2 times 30 degrees, that will give 60. You already knew that it is 60 because it is an equilateral triangle, but for you to hand out these marks, 3 marks, you don't just need to write the answer there. You just need to show the workings. So that is how you're supposed to solve that question. Juma is a trader of maize. He makes up a certain mixture of maize for sale by mixing maize packed in bags P and Q. A kilogram of bag P contains 6 units of white maize and 10 units of yellow maize, while a kilogram in bag Q contains 2 units of white maize and 12 units of yellow maize. He sells a mixture in packets that contain at least 24 kilograms of white maize and at least 60 kilograms of yellow maize. The mass of any packet of the mixture is less than 10 kilograms, but the packet should have at least 2 kilograms of maize from bag Q. Letting X to represent a kilogram of each unit of maize from bag P that are in the mixture packet, and Y to represent a kilogram of maize of each unit from bag Q that are in the mixture packet. Part A, form all the inequalities in X and Y to represent the above information. So in forming these inequalities, let's go to the first statement where we have bag P and we have bag Q. So start by writing bag P. So bag P, a kilogram of 1 unit. In bag P, we are letting X to represent a kilogram of each unit of maize from bag P. So 1 kilogram will be X kg. That is X kg. So that is X representing a kilogram of each unit. So in bag P, we have how many units? We have 6 units of white maize. So if 1 unit has X kg or X kilograms, what about 6 units? So 6 units. I'm going to branch this one because we have, this is yellow, white and yellow. So 6 units of white maize. So these kgs will be 6 multiplied by X, that will be 6X. That is for the white. Then for the yellow, we have 10 units. Remember, kilograms of each unit is X, so this will be 10X. That is for yellow. Then for bag Q, we are letting Y to represent a kilogram of maize of each unit. So Y kilogram. So and this one again, we have how many units? 2 units of white maize. So those number of kilograms will be 2 multiplied by Y. And then 12 units of yellow maize. So this is the white. Then for yellow there are 12 units, and remember 1 unit contains Y kg, so this will be 12Y. So this is for the yellow. Now after identifying that, now we can write the inequalities. So now from the other statement from here, he sells the mixture in packets that contains at least 24 kg, at least 24 kgs or kilograms of white maize. So at least 24 kilograms of white maize. So where do we have white maize? We have it here, 6X, and then we have 2Y. So at least 24 kgs means 24 kgs or more. So that means if I take the kilograms of bag P of white maize, which is 6X, and then I add the kilograms in bag Q of white maize, that is 2y, that one should be at least 24. At least should be greater than or equal to 24. That is the first inequality. And then at least 60 kgs of yellow maize from the 2 bags, at least 60. So have yellow here, we have yellow here, and we also have yellow here. So in bag P, how many kgs of yellow maize? We have 10x plus bag Q, we have 12y. So again, those ones should be at least 60. At least means greater than or equal to 60, like that. So those are the two inequalities we form up to that point. And then the other statement, the mass of any packet of the mixture, is less than 10 kilogram of any packet of the mixture. So that this means we have x kg for bag P and y kg for bag Q. So the mass of any mixture should be less than 10. So that means that x should be less than 10 and also y should be less than 10. That is what we mean. The mass of any packet of the mixture is less than 10 kg. So that it means for the kilograms for bag P should be less than 10, and also for bag Q should be less than 10. And then but the packet should have at least 2 kg of maize from bag Q. At least 2 kg from bag Q. So from bag Q, so but the packet should have at least 2 kg of maize from bag Q. So a kg from bag Q is y, so that means that y should be greater than or equal to 2. So it is not specific whether it is the white or the yellow, but for bag Q we have a kg, x, y is the one that is representing the kilogram of each unit. So y should be greater than or equal to 2. And then I don't think we have any other. So those are the inequalities, but the packet should have by letting x. So those are the inequalities they're supposed to form. So you have these, the first one, the second, the third, the fourth, and then x representing the number of kgs of each unit in bag P and Q. We can add these, that x, this should be non-negative, x should be greater than or equal to 0, and also y should be greater than or equal to 0. These two should also be included there because x and y cannot be negative. It should be greater than or equal to 0. So for part B, on the grid provided, draw all the inequalities in A above and shade the unwanted region. So you're supposed now to draw all these inequalities, and this is what you're going to do. We're going to start with the first one, and the first one is 6. We have 6x plus 2y is greater than or equal to 24. So when you're drawing the inequalities, we simply draw these lines. So we shall draw this line here, 6x plus 2y is equals to 24. So you can simplify this equation by dividing all through by 2, so that here you get 3x plus y is greater than or equal to 12. So to draw these a straight line, you need 2 points, at least 2 points. So you can start with when x is 0, 3x plus y is equals to. So let me just use equals here, because this is a line you have to draw. 3x plus y is equals to 12. So when x is 0, y will be 12. Then when y is 0, x will be 4. So you're going to use these 2 points to draw that. So that is the first one. Then you go to the next one. The next one is 10x plus 12y. 10x plus 12y is greater than or equal to 60. Again, we can simplify this by dividing everything by 2. Divide by 2, this will get 5x plus 6y is equals to 30. So we draw this line. So just get at least 2 points to do that. So when x is 0, y will be 5. Just feeding it here in this equation here. 5x plus 6y is equals to 30. When y is 0, x is equals to 6. So those are the ones that you're going to use to draw that. And then from there, the other one will be easier to draw this one. Y is greater than or equal to 2. We are going to draw this line. Y is equals to 2. That is what you're going to draw. Don't think then x is equals to, we have another one here still, x is less than 10, we are going to draw this line, x is equals to 10, and for y is less than 10, the line that you're going to draw there is y is equals to 10. So now having all these, now we can choose a scale. So when I look at these values, I can use a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 1. So let me go to the graph. So use the x and the y axis, So I have 0 here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and whether that one will fit, maybe I can try to, because I can see I will need to have let me see if that one is okay. We can draw it from the x and the x axis here, down here, and then the axis there. So let me see whether this one is going to, so they have 0 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like that. And then for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So for the x-axis, this is x, and this one, remember, it represents kgs of, remember, x represents kilograms of maize, bag P. So this one is from bag P, and this one will be, the y will be bag Q. We plot the first line. Let me plot these points. So you have 0, 12, plotting this one, first line. So 0, 12, 12, lazima nikuwe mjanja hapa, So after forming the inequalities, now we can draw these lines. So let me draw the x and the y axis by looking at these values that I have. So the x axis down here, and the y axis, I will simply use this one. So we have 0 them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like that. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is the x-axis and the y-axis. So we go to the first line. The first line is here, 0, 12. 0, 12 is here and here. So we have 0, 12. So this one is 12. So that is 12. 0, 12 will be here. And then the next one is 4, 0. 0 is here. So you have 4, 0, it is here. And then 12, 0, 12. 0, 12 is here. So that line should be continuous. You can see it is greater than or equal to. The line should be continuous. So you draw straight line, that, so that is the line. Write the equation of that line. So this line is 6x plus 2y. 6x plus 2y is equals to 24. Now let us decide on the side that you're going to shade, and this is what you do. I will pick a point on either side of this line. Let me pick a point from this side where we have 0, 0. Pick a point like 0, 0 on the lower side of that line. So 0, 0, and then you can try to substitute 0, 0 in this inequality there. When x is 0, y is 0, so that will be 6 times 0 plus 2 times 0. That will give 0. That will give 0 is greater than or equal to 24. Is that true? It is not true. So that side where I've picked that point 0, 0 does not satisfy the inequality, and therefore that means that is the unwanted side. So therefore we're going to shade on this side. So this is the side that you're going to shade, because the point that we've picked on this line 0, 0 doesn't satisfy the inequality. So we normally shade the unwanted side. So we shade the unwanted side like that. We go to the next line. The next line is here. 10x plus 12y is greater than or equal to 60. So we draw this line 0, 5. So 0, 5. 0, 5 is here. 0, 5 is here. And then the other one is 6, 0. 6, 0 is here. So these are the 2 points. So 0, 5 and 6, 0. So we join those points using a straight line. So 0, 5, that is a point, and then we have 6, 0, like that. Again, write the equation of this line. So the equation of that line, is 10x plus 12y is equals to 30. So that is the equation of that line. Now again, which side do we shade? I will still pick a point 0, 0. I will pick a point 0, 0, 0, 0 on this side, and then you try to substitute 0, 0 and this inequality. 10x plus 12y is greater than or equal to 60. So this will give 10 times 0 plus 12 times 0. That will be 0 is greater than or equal to 60. Is it true? No, it is not greater. So the side that you're going to shade again is on this side. You're going to shade this side. So this is the side that you're going to shade, line the unwanted side, because that point that we have picked on that side where we have 0, 0 doesn't satisfy that inequality. We've tested it there. So that is the side you're supposed to shade. We go to the other line. Y is greater than or equal to 2. So the line you're going to draw there will also be continuous. You can see it is greater than or equal to. So we draw the line y is equals to 2. Y is equals to 2 is a horizontal line that passes through these 2 here. That is the line. Y is equals to, this is the line y is equals to 2, and it should be continuous line. Now y is greater than. Greater than means we require the values that are above that line. So the values that are below that line are less than 2, and therefore that side, the lower side of that line, will not satisfy the inequality. So we shade the lower part of that line. The values on the lower side of that line are less than 2, and we need greater than 2. We need the upper side of that line. So that is the unwanted side. Then the other line is x is less than 10. So the line you're going to draw there is x is equals to 10. X is equals to 10 is this line here. We use a red pen here. So that is the line, and this line should be broken. Less than, meaning that point that lie on that line will not satisfy. So it should be a broken, line. So this one should be a broken line, not continuous. So that would be a broken line. It would be a broken line. So that is the line x. The line x is equals to 10. Now, which side do we shade? X is less than 10. Less than 10 means we require the values that are to the left of 10. To the left of 10, those are the values that are less than. The values that are to the right of that line, they are greater than, and you don't need those. So we shade the right hand side of that line. The values that are to the right are greater than 10. We need less than 10. So that is why we shade the right hand side of that line. It is unwanted. Then the other one is y is less than 10. Y is less than 10. The line you're going to draw there is y is equals to 10. Y is equals to 10 is this line, that a straight line that passes through here where we have 10. That is the line, and again that line should be broken. It should be broken. It should be a broken line. Less than, so it should be a broken line. So this one is broken. So if it is a broken line and it is less, y is less than 10. Less than 10 means that we require values that are below that line. Values that are below 10 are the ones that are less than 10. The ones that are above are greater than 10. So we're going to shade the right hand side of that line. Not the right hand side, but the top of that line. The top of that line. So values that are above that line are greater than 10. That is 11, 12, and so on. And we require the ones that are less than. So the unwanted side is that. So after doing that, now we have presented all the required inequalities that we need to do. All the lines are there. So the unwanted sides are shaded. So the side that is left can shade this one properly, like that, or this side. So That is how you do that question. Shaded the unwanted side. You can go to the other question. So the other question is part C. Juma bought a kilogram of maize in bag P at 60 shillings a kilogram in bag Q, and in bag Q at 160 shillings. So use the graph to find the least cost of a kilogram of mixture. That is optimization. And for us to find the least cost, that is the minimum cost, we are going to use the cost that is given here of a kilogram of maize in bag P. Remember, the kilograms in bag P are X. So if each bag costs 60 shillings, so all the bags will be 60x. So 60x. Then for bag Q, a kilogram costs 160. We have Y kilograms in bag Q, so that will be 160Y. So these will give us the objective function. So that is going to give us the cost or the profit. To give us the cost. So this is the objective function that you need to use in order to find the least cost or the minimum cost. Now what you're going to do, in order to do that, we can use different methods. You can use the inspection method to find the least cost of a kilogram of the mixture. That is in bag P, how many kgs, and then in bag Q. Okay, so therefore this is what you're going to do. We need to find the number of kilograms in bag P and the number of kilograms in bag Q that will give us the least cost. Once you get the number of kgs of bag P and bags of kilograms of bag Q that will give us the minimum cost, now we can substitute those values of X and Y in this objective function and get the cost. For this, I'll use a search line to do this. And to draw a search line, I will need to use this objective function by getting the least common multiple of 60 and 160. The least common multiple will give 480. So this is how we draw the search line. So you'll take 60x plus 160y is equals to 480. This is the line that you're going to draw. And you can simplify this by dividing all through by 10. You can divide this by 10, everything by 10 them. And this will give 6x plus 16y is equals to 48. So let me draw this search line. Just use 2 points. Use when x is 0, so you're substituting that in 6x plus 16y is equals 48. Y will be 3. And then when y is 0, 6x plus 0, that will give us 8. Substituting it here. So we draw the search line. So 0, 3, 0, 3. So 0, 3 is here. And then 8, 0. 8, 0 is here. So me draw the search line. You draw the search line. So 0, 3, 0, 3 there. And 8, 8, 0. So that is the search line. So the search line is here. It is passing through 0, 3. It is there. And 8, 0. 8, 0 is there. So that is the search line. Then from there, now to get the number of kgs for P, that is X. And then for Q, we're going to use a set square and a ruler to slide. This is what you're going to do. So get a ruler and a set square. A ruler and a set square to do this. So there I have my set square is them. So I have a set square and then a ruler. Now this is what you do. You ensure you place the set square such that it lies straight on that straight edge of the line, the search line, like that. You can see, make sure you place the set square such that this straight edge lies on that search line. And then the ruler should be held firmly, should not move. Sure the ruler lies again straight on that edge of the set square, like that. So this is how you place the two. Check how I've placed my ruler. Lies along that straight edge. It should be held firmly. When you're sliding, the ruler should not move. You're just sliding the set square. The set square, this edge lies straight on that search line. Then you slide upwards. The first point, of course, the first point that is going to be touched the first point that is going to be touched is the one that is going to give us the minimum. As you enter that feasible region, that required region, as you slide, the first point that is you're going to touch using the set square as you enter that region, that point is the one that gives us the minimum value. So let us slide. So from these, make sure you slide, and then the first point to be touched as you enter that region, the first point to be touched as you enter that region gives us the minimum value, and it is there. So look at this point that is here. This is a point already I've identified. Look at this point. This is the first point to be touched as you enter that region, and this point is around 3.6. So 3 is here, so you can see 3.2, 3.4, 3.6. This one is 3.62. 3.62. So look at it. So you have when you slide, the first point to be touched as you enter that region, that point, this point here, this point, and this is a corner point. Look at it, this one is a corner point. So this point that is here, so that is the one that gives us the minimum value. So the point is here as you slide. Make sure you're very careful when you're sliding. Sure that you're very careful when you're sliding. So I'll do it once again. So you slide it like that, and then that is the corner point here. So the corner point. So the point I have noted is this one. So this point that is here, this point that is here, it is around 3.62. 3.62. So 3.62. So 3.62. So 3.62. So that is the point, and this is how now you're supposed to solve these. So this is what is going to give us the minimum value. So that means x kgs, that is 3.6 kgs of bag P, and then the y kgs, that is will be 2 kgs. So when you're getting now the minimum cost, we are going to substitute 60 x, that will be 3.6, then plus 160 y, how many kgs are these? 2, and this is what is going to give us the minimum cost. So we can multiply these and see. So this will give us 60 multiplied by 3.6 plus 160 multiplied by 2. So this one is giving 536 shillings. So that is the minimum cost. That is how you're supposed to solve that question.
The acceleration of a particle t seconds after passing a fixed point P is given by A is equals to 3t minus 3. Given that the velocity of the particle when t is equals to 2 seconds is 5 meters per second, find A, its velocity, 1, in terms of t, 2, when t is equals to 4 seconds, B, the minimum velocity attained by the particle, then C, the displacement, that is its displacement during the third second. And that is the last question. Let's go to the first part. The acceleration is what you're given, and it is given by this expression there. Given that the velocity of the particle when t is equals to 2 is 5 meters per second, find its velocity in terms. So you're given acceleration, you need to find velocity. So how do you do that? Now, you should remember these. When you're given displacement, you differentiate displacement to get velocity. You differentiate velocity to get acceleration. That is the downward movement, you differentiate. If it is the upward movement, for example, in this case, you're given acceleration and you're supposed to get velocity. You actually integrate. You're going to get velocity by integrating acceleration. So in this question, you're going to integrate this expression for acceleration, that is 3t minus 3. This will give 3t squared divided by 2 minus 3t plus the constant of integration. That is what is going to give you velocity when you integrate acceleration. Now, how do you get this constant? See, you're given when t is equals to 2, v, velocity is 5. So substitute here, v is equals to 5 when t is equals to 2 seconds. So 3 over 2, then t is equals to 2. So that will be t squared 2 squared minus 3 2 plus c, like that. So this will have 5 is equals to, when you open this bracket, you get this will be 4, you get this one is 6 minus 6 plus c. So therefore the constant of integration will be given by 5. Now you can write your full expression for velocity as velocity is equals to 3 over 2 t squared minus 3t plus 5. That is the velocity in terms of t. Then part 2, when t is equals to 4 seconds, you're supposed to find velocity. The question, find velocity when t is equals to 2. So just simply t is equals to 4. Just take the expression for velocity, 3 over 2, then t is 4. So that will be 4 squared minus 3. You just substitute where you have t, you put that before, then plus 5. So this will give, this will be 16 by 2, that will be 8. So this will be 24 minus 12 plus 5. And this will give you 17 meters per second. Then part B, the minimum velocity attained. The minimum velocity attained. So one thing you should know is that at minimum or maximum velocity, acceleration is equals to 0. And therefore, we need to take the acceleration. The expression for acceleration is a is equals to 3t minus, so a is equals to 3t minus 3. And at minimum velocity, acceleration is 0. Simply substitute that with 0 is equals to 3t minus 3. This will give us the time when it attains minimum velocity, and this one t will give 1. So when 1 second times 1 second, that is when it attains minimum velocity. So the question is find the minimum velocity. So having the time, you can simply get the expression for velocity, which is 3 over 2 t squared minus 3t plus 5. So when t is equals to 1, what will be the velocity? So you just substitute. That is 1 squared minus 3, 1 plus 5. So working out that using a calculator, you get this one to be 3.5 meters per second. 3.5 meters per second. Then the other question, its displacement during the third second. Its displacement during the third second. So now let's see how you're going to get displacement. You have velocity. So how do you get displacement? You integrate. Look, that is the upward movement. And this is where you integrate. You have velocity. So to get displacement, displacement S is given by you integrate velocity with respect to t. And because it is during the third second, that means during the third second means from between the second to third. That is what we mean by during the third second, from the second to the third second. So we're going to integrate using those limits. So from, you're going to integrate from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. And we integrate what? Velocity. So 3 over 2 t squared minus 3t plus 5. Integrating this one with respect to t. So this will give 3 over 2t squared. When you integrate that, you will get t cubed divided by 2, because this will give 3t cubed divided by 6. So it will give that. Then integrate negative 3t to give negative 3t to that. Then plus 5t plus the constant of integration. Then square brackets. Then this is from 2 to 3 seconds. So from there, you can simply substitute 3. You have t, substitute 3. So you have 3 cubed divided by 2 minus 3 over 2, then 3 squared, like that, plus 5, 3. You can drop c, because even when you carry it, it will get subtracted and it will be 0. Then subtract, substitute 2. So you have 2, where you have a t, you are substituting t with 2. The other one you're substituting t with 3. So this will be 2 cubed divided by 2 minus 3, 2, t like that, plus 5, that is 2, like that. So from here you can use a calculator to work out these. So we work out everything is here. 3 cubed divided by 2 minus 3 over 2 multiplied by 3 squared plus 5 multiplied by 3. The whole of that part will give you 15. And then the other one is 2 cubed divided by 2 minus 3 over 2 multiplied by 4 plus 10. The whole of that will give you 8. And when you subtract these, you get 7 meters. 7 meters, that is the displacement.